Most people do not understand bodyweight training. All training is just different types of tension. And the mistake that I see over and over and over is people going to the gym, chucking on a bunch of weight and doing a shorter range of motion and using areas in which the knee can't handle. And so we load up the glutes, we load up different areas around the body, but our knee can't handle it. And so our knee gets weaker and our other areas get stronger. If you do a month of bodyweight training in the right ways, I promise you your knee health will change. And in this video, I will break down an entire routine that you can start to do to train bodyweight over this month, in which you will see massive progression with your knees. In our system, every single workout is built from the ground up. That is one of the first principles we use, and you'll see our principles over and over and over again in our YouTube videos, and that's important because repetition gets stuff into the brain. The first exercise that we want to use is for the feet. The feet are so important. You can look at my mentor, Kador Ziandi. He's one of the highest jumpers of all time, can kick the basketball hoop with his net. I mean, look at this, it's absolutely ridiculous. And he puts so much attention on the feet. And you want to learn from people who are doing it right. So first thing is backwards walking 10 to 15 minutes out on grass, barefoot if possible. When we're training barefoot, this is going to use more of those muscles that are in our feet, and this is going to help the knee as well. You will start to get a quad pump if you do 15 minutes of backwards walking. If you have access to equipment, you can also do sleds, all this kind of stuff. But again, we're talking about bodyweight stuff today, and so 15 minutes is a good start for that. From there, we then move up into the ankles, tibialis for the front of the shin. You can literally go up against a wall, straighten your legs, and then start lifting up your toes, and you are starting to train your tibialis. People think they need load for this, but again, over time, you can progress to slant board tibialis raises if you get to that. But to be honest, just moving your feet out to certain positions, it's going to put more length in the tibialis, it's going to make the exercise harder, and most people will be fine with just that. But the progressions over time for long-term bulletproofing would be single leg tibialis raise or tibialis slant board raises. The tibialis is one muscle that I see not a lot of people train. It's so important for deceleration strength, so important for ankle strength, so important for protecting the knee. And most people, the first time they do this, will experience a pump that they've never experienced in their life. Charles Poliquin trained the tibialis here and there, but in more of a bodybuilding sense. The first person to really take it into athletic training and knee training in specific was Ben Patrick. But obviously the body works as a whole, and if our tibialis is weak, that force that goes into tibialis is going to go somewhere else. And then talking about tibialis, we have to talk about the other side of the lower leg, in which Charles Poliquin hits supersets with tibialis and the calves. And for body weight here, this is a really good measurement of how strong our actual calves are two different variations. One is the KOT calf raise for the knee. This is really amazing as well because it's an isometric in that knee over toe position, and so can start building strength there. But this is going to be targeting the soleus a little bit more than the straight leg version. We can build this up from 2 legs to start with to a single leg, and then eventually starting to load that. But again, I do not see people trying to hit our standards, which is 50% of body weight for 10 reps on this exercise. I have seen so many people in the gym, and I've taken them through workouts, and not a single person has been able to hit anywhere close to the standard when they first started, either because of a limitation at the calf or a limitation at the knee. The starting protocol on this would be double leg, 25 reps. From there, we then have straight leg calf raises. This is still going to be hitting the soleus, but it's going to be hitting more of that gastroc as well. And the same standard for this over time, single leg, 50% of our body weight, 10 reps. We go through a full range of motion in this exercise, and this can be regressed by having 2 legs and even assistance of the body weight to over time moving to 1 leg and then eventually loaded. Not a lot of people emphasize the lower legs as much as we do in our training, and it is a real shame because this leads to ankle injuries, to knee injuries, to all different kinds of stuff. And so these exercises, starting to train from the ground up, is really going to change the way you train. I've personally never seen anyone do a tibialis raise in the gym, and so we are here to change that. Next up, we are going to go for the knee exercises now that we've hit the lower leg stuff. And for this, something I want to really talk about is to emphasize slower tempo, which tempo just means how much you're controlling it. So on the way down, the eccentric portion of the step up, I want us to control this for 3 seconds. I then want us to pause for 1 to 2 seconds in the bottom. And I don't mean 1, 2, I mean 1 elephant, 2 elephant. And then up, we can just come up in 1 second. But this slower tempo is going to allow us to feel this more in the quad. It's going to be able to work our muscles a bit better without that pain coming in the knee. I want us to do 15 reps on each leg with this, starting from flat ground and eventually building up the heights from 0 inches to 3 inches, to 4 inches, to 5 inches, and eventually to 6 inches. This is going to help with ankle range of motion. It's going to help with direct knee strengthening. And the form is so important in this exercise. We want our hips to be leaning back, and so all of the emphasis goes on the knee. Please do not train through any pain with this exercise, but I have had so many people who have had some kind of knee problem or knee inhibition, and they haven't been able to feel their quads, and then we get them on this exercise and they start to shake for the first time ever. They start to feel a quad pump, which is crazy. This and the sled, those two in combination, backwards walking, people start to light up their quads like they've never felt before, and it is really amazing that a simple exercise like this can do that. And so in between each set of the step up, I like to use 2 exercises which then lengthen the tissues. I like to use the couch stretch, and I like to use the elephant walk. So we go back to back to back. We go straight from the step up, and then straight into the elephant walk, and then straight into the couch stretch. After that, we have a 2-minute rest and go back into the step up, couch stretch, elephant walk. The couch stretch, I want you to hold for about 30 seconds each leg. Regresses by using an incline bench or even having your torso lean down forward on the couch stretch, and eventually the end goal is having our shoulders to the wall. For the elephant walk then, we want to do 10 reps each side. I want you to pause in that top extension range. Hold it for 2 seconds. If you do the step ups and straight into the elephant walks, I promise you your quads are going to be burning and your hamstring is going to be lengthened. It's going to be a great time. With that, the goal then is palms to floor over time. You can start at whatever level is pain-free, and you have that ability to push through the hamstrings there. Then we go into the ATG split squat, getting a full range of motion in the knee. And for this in particular, we're going to hit those deeper ranges. And so the 2 most missed ranges I see are the very end range extension, so the very short range. So this is being hit by the step up. And then also the long range, which is then going to be hit by the split squat, which is that deep range of motion. I'm just getting a full stretch through the quads and through those connective tissue. Those are the 2 biggest areas that we see are missing in most people's knee programs. The mid range is amazing as well. We love our Bulgarian split squats, all that kind of good stuff. But we see people overemphasizing these and getting super strong here, but then not being able to work in the end range extension and also the end range flexion. In this ATG split squat, I want to challenge you. I want to say do 10 reps on each leg at your pain-free level. And I want you to be able to slow this down as well. I want you to do 3 seconds on the way down, 3 seconds pause in that bottom position, and then 3 seconds up. No pause at the top, so go straight back down into it. We also want to be leaning further back with our hips on this exercise as well, and so we are targeting that quad and that knee a little bit more. If you want, you can add floss bands to this, and trust me, like even now, sometimes before I hit my actual ATG split squat sets, I do sets of 20 to 40 on these bottom range pulses for the ATG split squats, and my quads are on fire and my knees feel so amazing afterwards because I have not worked through any pain, but I've really got some blood flow into that area. But for you guys, I want you to do 10 reps, super slow, don't work through any pain, only go into the range in which you can handle. Regress it if you need to by using elevated surface and maybe even assistance. But again, this is going to be an area that not a lot of people train, and they're going to feel super tight in maybe the knee. The knee is going to feel maybe a little bit stiff, but also that back hip flexor which is stretching out, that is going to feel stiff and immobile as well. And so this can be a game changer over time. And now you have 2 choices. If you feel like that was enough of the workout for the front of the knee and your knee is feeling nice and pumped and you can feel like, okay, I'm done for the day, you can stop there. If you want to continue because your knee still feels good and you feel like you have a little bit more in you, I want you to do 1 to 2 sets of VMO squats. And so what VMO squats are high on the slant board, our knees pushing out much more forward, and this is going to be more knee dominant, more quad dominant. Our torso is going to be way more vertical, and so this is more pressure on the knee. I wouldn't go crazy on this exercise to start with, especially if we haven't done balance side to side with a step up and split squat for a long time. But again, I'm showing you that the body weight movements really can do some amazing stuff over time. The eventual goal is if you could hit 100 VMO squats in a row, maybe you pause a little bit here and there, but if you can hit 100 VMO squats in a row, 1 set, you're going to be on your way to having healthier knees. If this was the standard for football players growing up, just 100 VMO squats once a week, our knees will be so much healthier. And so I bet most of the people watching this will not be able to perform this exercise for 100 reps with great form. And you'll probably get some extreme DOMs after. If that is way too much for you, please just do 10 to 20 reps, 1 to 2 sets, and then eventually build up over time to that point where we can do 100 VMO squats in a row. But this is the thing with body weight. You think, oh no, I need load, I need to do this. It's so much safer because there's not load bearing down on you. And so if you fail, you fail. You don't need to do anything crazy. You can do higher reps, which cause more blood flow, more synovial fluid to the tissues, and we can start to use positions in which we can target more of the knee joint. This is an example of a hack squat, so this is even tougher than a VMO squat. You see how far forward my knees are? Over time, that may even be the goal, but right now we're just talking about the VMO squat. And so for the VMO squat, it can also be regressed. You can use floss bands on the knee, you can use assistance of the body weight, you can use counterbands. All these things can help you get into this position a little bit better. Finally then, we have two stretches for the outside and the inside of the knee. For the outside, we're going to be doing the 1990 pigeon push-up, and for the inside, we're going to be doing the wall groin stretch or the standing pancake, depending on your level. And so going through this entire routine twice a week for a month will change your entire lower body. You'll start to see stuff that you've never seen before. You'll start to think, okay, body weight training is going to be used more because I can't even handle these positions in which Liam can handle. And yet I'm trying to load up loads of weight, right? We need to build that childlike mobility, that childlike joint integrity before we go onto these higher loads, because this is really what's going to make us feel healthy. Again, if you think of youth, you think of health, you think of mobility, you think of being able to move. You think of older people, you think of being stiff, being immobile. And so if you can use these exercises, if you can get into these positions with just your body weight, you can unlock so many things. And over time, we can start to use the load, but master your body weight first. On the ATG program, ATG 0 is there for 12 weeks first because we want people to really master their body weight, and this can really build a foundation for us to then pack on the load over time. I hope this video helps. I hope it gives you a routine that you can use from anywhere in the world, from home, from gym, from the field, whatever you fancy, and I hope it brings more knee gains. If you do want a free knee strengthening program in which you can start to use, if you want this all laid out in a program, it'll be slightly different to what I've laid out in this video, but very, very, very similar. You can look in the top line of the description and there will be a free ebook in which you can download and have a look at. After that ebook is downloaded, you can also fill out an assessment in which you can look at exactly where you are in our 3R system, rejuvenate, rebuild, and return to sport, and what your next steps could possibly be. I hope this video helps, and I hope the stuff that I send you is useful.